Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om to everybody. Before we take up the text, a couple of devotees have written on some points. In the satsang you spoke, there were words of Swami Shivananda Ji on silence. They were so beautifully and meditatively spoken. And this child immediately connected to it. Is it possible to record it again in your voice and send it to me? Okay, that will be done. In today's morning contemplation, we are prompted to meditate on first Sat Chit Ananda, and then as the contemplation continues, the second word that occurred was Aham Brahmasmi. For the minutest of time, the unreal nature of thought, mind, body, world flashed, and is still trying to get it. Could you please explain it in more in depth on the two mantras, Sat Chit Ananda Swarup and Aham Brahmasmi? Instead of breaking our head down too much on those words, we will be satisfied with this. He is there in the form of existence. Sat stands for that. Chit stands for awareness. At the moment we are aware, we are existing. We are aware that we are existing. That awareness, existence, knowledge, bliss is the normal translation. Knowledge means awareness. Because there is no thought there, it is full bliss. So it is one of the attributes, of Chittana. Aham Brahmasmi, I am the Brahman. So we must have some concept about that Brahman, when we say I am the Brahman. Because we cannot have a concept. But we can have a concept approximating to the reality. Like, great void. Like, creator, protector, destroyer. Like intelligence, awareness, creativity. Like love, truth, goal of human perfection. So there are plenty, intelligence absolute, life force absolute. So I am the Brahman. Normally we have been told Atman is, the Brahman in an individual form is called Atman. And when it is all pervading, it is called Brahman. Both are all same. That's why we said let us not break our head on these words. We know that we are talking now. We know that we are hearing now. We know that we are seeing now. That knowing principle. I slept. I dreamt. I am in the waking state. I am aware of these things. Not this awareness, but this awareness of the way. So these are some of the ways by which we can concentrate on the reality, who cannot be defined, who cannot be brought within the ambit of anything that is knowable. Our intellect cannot go, because it is the very subject. Why it cannot go? It is the one which is motivating the very intellect. So something approximating We have something called knowable. So we try to understand through that knowable the unknowable. That is why they said stillness. Stillness, is a word only, It is not an object. Silence is not an object. But those words convey. That is why Papa said utterance of God's name is to make the mind ultimately still, free from all thoughts. So, let us try, any of these words. Not bother much about. Because maybe those who are well versed in Sanskrit, they may be able to give so many explanations, amplifications. But what we need is only the essence. Of all the explanations, we find it easy to understand the word life force. It is not the life. The life force of our lives. The second life is, is from the date of birth to date of death. We call it the death and life, life and death. We are talking about that life force. And Papa has given very practical examples like breathing by blood circulation. Easy to understand. Because we are not originating it. It goes by itself. So the presence of God can be felt in any of these. We should try. Intellectually knowing will not help much. What is needed is constant manana. So Satchitananda normally stands for existence, knowledge, bliss. Aham Brahmasmi means I am the Brahman. That means that awareness is Brahman. That bliss is Brahman. Existence is Brahman. Right? So each one can select one word and then concentrate. Each one has got their own speciality or attraction towards a particular word, a particular expression. Though ultimately everything conveys the same. So these are only verbal explanations,
Actually, when you say Aham Brahmasmi, there cannot be any Aham.
When we break our head on these, but these are all Mahavakyas. So for ordinary people like us, we do not know much of Sanskrit, much of Vedas. The easy way is, when we reach the stage, Vedas have declared Aham Brahmasmi. We have been told there are 4 Mahavakyas, step by step. Somebody interpreted it as a step by step. Ayamatma Brahma, Prajnanam Brahma, Ayamatma Brahma, Tattvamasi, Aham Brahma. We can break our head on these, What is needed is some essence of it. So, easy way is to concentrate on Papa's word, indwelling and all-pervading reality. That which makes every one of us feel a sense of individuality, that power. Indwelling reality. Because of which all our sense organs work, because of which the mind intellect works, because of which we know we are, the amness, the isness, the arness, whatever we call it. So let us try in that way. All-pervading reality, we know that when the nose and the mouth is plugged, in half an hour time that particular individual life gets dropped. So where from it comes? Naturally, our common sense says, life is all pervading. That life force is all pervading. It is entering through our nostrils and that inhalation, exhalation, the prana gets started. And it has stipulated certain conditions for the equipment to become active. And if it fulfills all the conditions, I become a lively person. If any of my organs are not in order, I call it a disease. When there is a major problem with the vital organs, I become dead. Like that. So it's easy. That is why Papa says, life is the expression of Atman. Though seemingly two, they are one. So better let us take something that is easily understandable. So then how to control the tongue, both in speaking and eating. It's a wonderful point. Very important point. Normally, Gandhiji used to say, control of palate, That is the one which controls all the senses. But here, one more thing, speaking. And the devotee has explained, I am finding them as an obstacle. Eating leads to lethargy, speaking leads to forgetting Ram and getting involved in worldly and other people's matters. Other sense organs also hinder, but I do not know why I consider the tongue as a bigger obstacle. How can I change this habit in my perception? You are perfectly right. All of us are struggling. Not only you. You have now reminded us through this question that this tongue has got unlike other organs, it has got a twin assignment. One is that is eating, the other one is speaking. And both bind us if sufficient control is not there. How to control? Can we get an instruction from outside? No. Normally, we have been told, avoid tamasic food, too much of eating, anything that the tongue demands, don't give in. So, Vradas can be observed. I even find youngsters are observing Vradas in their ordinary course. Many people observe on fasting, avoiding something on a particular day. That to which we have got craving, if we can say, I will not eat that on Monday or Tuesday. So, Vradas do help in controlling. Speaking. That can be controlled only by, if we don't know. So, everybody has to try. When we keep on reading the glories of God, when we keep on reading the biographies of masters, when we keep on thinking about the varied manifestation of Mother Nature, in these three, you will find, you will really get enjoyment only if you are to yourself. If you are enjoying Papa's, God's glory, if someone comes, it gets broken. You are reading, you are fired with the inspiring life and mission of so many evolved souls. It is disturbed. Similarly, you are enjoying the beautiful panoramic sights, the mountains, the hills, the valley. You can't explain, but something comes out of you. because it's your own experience. So we try now to engage ourselves in our own experience. That will indirectly discourage us from getting into talks about others. They're all easy to say. You have to try it. Practical solution is as much time as possible. No? Then the commitment will slowly get rooted. Thinking about the glory, thinking about values, thinking about the noble deeds done by others. During the COVID period now, the first 2-3 months, one person in the ashram, we all read, we just go to the paper. But he took the cuttings of the touching episodes, where one person has gone out in aid of the other one. You may say it was nice, but here the person took the trouble of taking all the cuttings, then putting it in an order, and just with the date and with the subheading. So that means the mind is fully involved in such B2B. Nobody will instruct. We did not tell him to do it, but he did it by himself. And it is a wonderful thing for us to do. We called the local, that particular daily paper from whom it was called. We told him, this is what you have done. We don't want this to be just read and go. It should be read by everybody, more so by the growing generation, so that they know the commitment to the society is there in all these activities. So like that, we coolly engage. It is an experiential movement, not an academic talk. He was prompted from within. He was facilitated to gather. Then he put it in an order, and each one has gone into it because he has given a subtitle. So these are one more day. So let us not leave anything. There are some good points. But if we are in a position to cull out and put it in a form, so that somebody gets benefit or not, forget about it. That person does definitely get it. He has controlled. I have seen not a word from the person wounding anybody comes out. And always he is positive. So God is showing before us, When you involve yourself in this, that means your thoughts are only on those lines. Here we write, the three things: fixed resolve, sustained faith, optimistic outlook. It should become a part of our life, So these are some of the ways by which we have seen people controlling their tongue. So let us all pray and let us try to involve ourselves more and more in it. And yeah, you are right. Apart from the tongue is the one which creates good things as well as bad things. One word, finished. It can break the friendship which you have developed for so many years. One word from you can also set off the differences you have. Such a powerful one is the word. So if we understand that we will make use of it only for the purpose of applying as a balm, then speaking is not a problem. That means the me to me should be there. If the me to me is there, the tongue can take us into ditch. Very difficult for us to get out from it. So during our past moments, if we can fill our mind with evolving thoughts, noble thoughts, like experience of others, that is why we give much importance for the satsang. Any Mahatma. And we have seen that when we take one step towards that, mysteriously he will make us to get in touch with the lives of many Mahatmas. So what is needed is an initiative, a committed initiative from our side. He is watching us from inside. So now that he has prompted that question, we are saying to him, you have now truly directed us. Now give us the aptitude to read the biographies of masters. Not always. And far more importantly, the dialogue. And in all these questions can be answered if we can maintain a regular dialogue with him. We will come to that later. One more question will be. Talking, another question. It's for past days I am able to attend something these days. Feeling nearness being part of the group is okay. Talking about surrender, I feel there are so much challenges that come our way in day-to-day life. When I sit quiet with myself and reflect that there is very little I can change around, progress is to surrender happily. For my health issues also I feel it does not come easy. So a lot of work needs to be done on my part. Ask for strength and for surrender is not that easy. And surrender does not mean keeping quiet. Doing everything with the feeling that he has asked us to do. That's a simple explanation by Papa the other day. He said, we should struggle, but struggle with the feeling that he is making us to struggle. So HCR should be there, It's constant remembrance. So surrender means constant remembrance. That's very difficult. So what do we do now? In as much occasions as possible, we will try to bring in. Because our mind has not been habituated. It has been habituated to think that the individual is thinking, individual is planning, individual is experiencing. Put everything in the passive voice, it is easy to say, but very difficult. Words are being now spoken to. I am speaking. Simple. But the reality is words are being trusted. So everything is passive. Everything is passive. We used to think about this. Why did the originator of the conjugation of verb bring this passive voice and active voice? Just imagine. There could be only active voice. But if it has to ultimately reach the fifth stage, passive voice alone is the answer, not active voice. And after having gone through the passive voice, we can come down and then say active voice. Because we know then that everything is being done right. And strangely, there are certain verbs which cannot be passive voice. Transitive, intransitive, they say, So that means certain things cannot be done. Me and mine will be there. But passive voice, just imagine, everything we are giving the ownership to, we are not owning the ownership. Ownership is transferred. I take the book is taken by me. So instead of me, we can slowly say the book is taken by him. The prompting has come to take the book from him. Something like that, slowly. The motivation to take the book, the motivation to share these thoughts has come from him. So surrender, you can say, think about the passive voice. Moment. In Malayalam we say kartari prayog, karmari prayog. Karta is not there. I is not. I goes to the back. The object comes in the first. The book is taken. The book is being taken. The book has been taken. Like that, so many things they have devised. So for a spiritual aspirant, we find passive voice will be helpful when we try to use. And then we try to avoid the first person as much as possible. So the moment we use the first person, we are limiting ourselves to this. But the moment we use we, the I plus that. So these are all the questions that came. One more. Somebody said day for yesterday it was a Krishnashtami. So we will just read what Papa has written about Lord Krishna. And in the book also it will come later. Darshanji had elaborated that also we will read. Because as you know, there is no particular day for Krishna. He is the birth of the birthless. For our sake, we say Ashtami Rohini or whatever. There should be some discipline to celebrate. It should become universal. So, but actually, the indwelling reality has no birth and death. Papa says, when you are explaining about Ram, birthless and deathless is he. Krishna, thou adored. Thou adored ideal of millions in India and the world. Thou the embodiment of immortal love, light and bliss. All hail to thee. Thy enchanting beauty ravishes and intoxicates the heads of thy devotees. The enthralling music of thy flute casts a never-ceasing spell on those blessed ones who lend an ear to it. Thy sport and dance awaken thrills of ecstasy in every fibre of the being who witnesses them. Splendor radiates from thy eyes. Love smiles on thy face. Wisdom flows from thy lips. Thou almighty refuge of the weak, thou saviour of the woe-stricken world, all glory be to thee. Thy song of songs, the Gita, the priceless essence of the highest truth of life, the acme of thought, the summit of spiritual experience, may the great reality itself manifest in words. Saves, redeems, immortalizes every soul who draws inspiration from it and meditates on thee and offers himself or herself entirely to thee. Thou resplendent being, thou God in human and universal form, may thy infinite light ever shine on the world. May thy infinite love ever dwell in the breast of every being. May thy infinite bliss and grace ever pour on all mankind. Everybody will enjoy Mirabai's song, because it's her direct experience through the form. We were told that Mahatmaji used to request MS to go to Varda And then from there, she used to render. Gandhiji stands for impersonal, as such a joy. Mirabai songs means everybody will hear. Probably now we are carried away by the raga, by the artist, by the accompaniment. But think about the composer, Krishna. Krishna, thou adored ideal of millions in India and the world. Thou the embodiment of immortal love, light and bliss. All hail to thee. Thy enchanting beauty ravishes and intoxicates the hearts of thy devotees. The enthralling music of thy flute casts a never-ceasing spell on those blessed ones who lend an ear to it. Thy sport and dance awaken thrills of ecstasy in every fibre of the being who witnesses them. Splendor radiates from thy eyes. Love smiles on thy face. Wisdom flows from thy lips. Thou almighty refuge of the weak, thou Saviour of the woe-stricken world, all glory be to thee, thy song of songs, the Gita, the priceless essence of the highest truth of life, the acme of thought, the summit of spiritual experience, nay, the great reality itself manifest in world. Saves, redeems, immortalizes every soul who draws inspiration from it and meditates on thee and offers himself or herself entirely to thee. Thou resplendent being, thou God in human and universal form, thy infinite light ever shine on the world. May thy infinite love ever dwell in the breast of every being. May thy infinite bliss and grace ever pour on all mankind. So, these are some of the ways by which we bring both the form and the formless. So now then we move to our text at the Peter. Today we will read the portion full. Let us watch ourselves. We should know that this is not a dialogue between A and B. It is exactly like the outpouring. The only thing is, two characters are there. One is the questioner and the answer, and the entity that gives the answer. Both are inside. Talks with mother and her solution of the child's difficulty. This is the heading for Pandit. The mother means the divine mother. What is the goal? To attain Ram. What is self-surrender? Resignation to the will of God. How can we attain this? By continued remembrance of God. What is Ram? He is at once life, love and bliss. He is the only eternal source. Where can we seek Him? Seek and find Him in ourselves and in the whole universe about us. God has manifested Himself as the universe, the one supreme Paramatman, who is by nature formless, without qualities, ever existent, has assumed the variety of forms that we see in the universe. Let us see Him in all things and beings as the one imperishable reality. What is the result of self-surrender? Self-surrender brings pure, everlasting bliss. How? When the human will is given up for the divine will, all the responsibility of the instrument, the devotee, ceases, and the consciousness of the individual ego is merged in the divine consciousness. Then all his actions, thoughts and words emanate from the divine soul, leaving him entirely free from all doubts, desires and bonds. In fact, the devotee becomes filled with supreme bliss, on which alone his mind constantly dwells. The ego being absent, there is nothing on which his actions, words and thoughts can leave any impression. He is now free from all sin and sorrow. He is merely a witness, dispassionate, blissful, of the grand play or Leela of God, the universe and all that is in it. Can we see God? Yes, we can see Him in His work. In His manifestation, He pervades all. There is no place where He is not. Every object is none other than He. If God is one, why does He appear in different names and forms? The one has appeared as many for the working out of His Leela or play. What underlies the appearance of many? The qualities Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. The objects appear different accordingly as any one of these qualities is predominant in it. What relation do these qualities bear to our complete resignation to the will of God? In the condition of perfect resignation to the will of God, the devotee rises above the three qualities and becomes essentially divine. He becomes a mere instrument in the hands of the Almighty God. He then fulfills the work of God. He is made to exist only for that purpose. Truly, he is then an incarnation of God Himself, as Sri Krishna, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, and other Mahapurushas. This is an inner dialogue. Just like any other examination, we don't have to think that these thoughts should come to us. What is intended probably by Papa is only that you develop this relationship. And mysteriously all the fundamental questions will come out. 100% it will come out. Probably not in this way or in this language, that's all. Fundamental question. So what we have to do is to develop this relationship. Then only all this becomes relevant. Otherwise, if we take it that it's a question answer by A and B, then it is academic, We will try to first concentrate on the thoughts, on the questions and the answers. No doubt, it has got its own value, no doubt. But what is essential is it should come from within, If we take it that it is Papa's question and answer, it will never become mine. So for the sake of all of us, he has given out these fundamental questions, arising and getting the answer in ourselves. So he is showing us that when we have, to a very great extent, disciplined our mind to develop this relationship, it will come out. The mind will come out with its questions. And the answers will come out in the form of flashes. So how to do that? Because if we ask, everybody will say the moment they get up till they retire, I am busy with so many activities. But we have to find some time. If we are taking at the feet of God, the first prerequisite is that we should find time to develop this relationship, nearness with Him, in the form of dialogue. How will we do it? When will we do it? Each one has to find out. Preferably, the first session, if it is there immediately after we get up, it will be helpful because the mind is fresh. We should not limit to that particular time alone. Even the period ever so small, Papa's words, just remember. We should remember. Plenty of such dialogues are there. When we go through the inquest of God, we find, how many times he has acknowledged how he has saved him. You shameth even the mother, he says. It's not a dialogue, While reading, probably we would not have given much importance for this communion with God. But now we understand, that is why he has, every now and then he used to do that. O Ram, wherever he has addressed as O Ram in the main text itself, it is a dialogue. So he is showing us how the dialogue can come in our daily life. Just we took the book in Quest of God, just open, Jagannath Puri came. Yes, this over, the Brahmin took him for a round of the temple. O Ram, what words can convey thy kindness to thy slave, or glory to thee? How much time it took? Hardly a minute. A few seconds. This is how he wants us to do that. Whatever available, time is available. So whenever free from worldly duties, be the period ever so small, he would meditate on Ram after his name. And then one more. Any kirtanam, any bhajan, Ye Jagadada, for example. Ye Jagadada, Vishwavidhata. When we say that, it is a dialogue between me and him, not outside. Any bhajan. So hereafter when we take up any bhajan, we will try, this is what? Prayer. Just imagine. Prayer is a communion with him. With that perspective, when we look at prayer, bhajan, composition of any kirtan, it is a dialogue. Nobody else is there. Either he is there in the form or without form, that's all. The composer, he derived joy either through the form or through the form. So ultimately everything zeroes to communion with him, communion with him, communion with him. So Papa is now telling, okay, you have been reading at the feet of God, but the essential thing is, poem first he said, they skipped poem. Poem there is nobody else. Papa the composer, when he composed it, only he was there. Any poem just is. When we go with the theme, then the theme makes us to unite with him. Any bhajan, any namavali. You say it was today, Ramnam was very nice. Means what? The communion has taken place, that's all. No other thought has ensued. The one whom you are idolizing, and the one to whom you are given that name, you are chanting. So Ramnam is for developing the communion. Bhajan is for developing the communion. Prayer is for developing the communion. Satsang is for developing the communion. Darshan of Mahatmas to develop his communion. Ultimately, zeros to that, We have so far, treated everything as separate. Bhajan session, Ramnam session, prayer session, like that. So ultimately we have missed it. But it is all pointing out to that. Any prayer, any bhajan, We close our eyes and then hear, Day for yesterday, Narayana.
Narayana Hari, Narayana Hari, Narayana Hari, Narayana.
When we keep on chanting, let's set a particular cue, closing our eyes, not looking, then the communion, in some form it takes place. When they dance, what happens, it is not for dancing they are doing it. It comes automatically, the movement. Automatically it comes. When we were all in Chennai, we are talking about, at that time, used to be every Saturday night, different groups in Chennai, they all joined for Divyanam. 9 o'clock night they start, Saturday. Till morning 6 o'clock it will go on. And then they take rest and they go for not that they will be sleeping all day, but one day in a week, now we remember that, one day in a week, about 30, 40, 50 people join together. And there is a kramam, there is an order. What should be taken first, what should be done. There is no confusion. Each one will sing. And at that time it won't be sitting and singing also. It's a nice thing to take part. We used to take part. Because there, you forget about everything. Young and old. Everything. Everybody dances, Just like this, there are certain ragas which will not make us to keep quiet. Automatically you will stand. And there are some Mahatmas who will promote this. For example, Haridas Giri Maharaj, when he conducts, we have not seen directly, but we have seen the videos. A big audience is there, but they are not hearing. He will immediately start like this. And he will ensure that everybody joins. If somebody is not doing it, he will locate. Idea is not for discipline. He wants everybody to enjoy. Forget about themselves and enjoy. The enjoyment was, again, communion with him. So at the feet of God, the first lesson Papa is telling us without words is an untold lesson. That we should develop communion with Him, who is within. And then, even when we make it in dead earnest, when we do that, all the fundamental doubts, questions that will come up in our life and in our mind, instead of seeking it from outside, we will be seeking it from inside. All whatever manan we have done, he would have previously facilitated us to do manan on certain things. Traveling with the theme inside is called manan, contemplation. Unearthing the real meaning. We have heard a word, contextual meaning, we can easily bring it out. It could be like this and we can pass it on. But suppose we apply our mind, we take it and then start going deeper into it. So that is called manan. Deeper, not from the surface level. So those things get encouraged in the communion. And many a times this has happened that when we come out of this with certain unanswered questions, mysteriously we will be led to those answers given out by others. We don't know why he made us to read at that time. But he will be there is no context. In Hitopadesha he says, Vanevi dosha prabhavandiragina. How we can convert our own home as tapovana. So there is no what you call particular reason for karma. But one day he makes us to go through that. At that time, why should I know? Keep quiet. At the time will come, I will inform you. But then it will come. So whenever he does, whatever he promises, we take it that this is may not be of immediate use. But he has a reason why he is filling up with it. So during these moments, all these things will surface. Whatever he has made us to collect during our waking time, proportionate to the inner aspiration we have. When some other friends, person, they wanted us to share some topics every Sunday. So we told them suggest some topics, and they couldn't. They finally took one portion from Gandhiji's collection. So then it had appeared in the vision. Last week when we shared, we said it's a favorable topic because Gandhiji, just like Papa, expresses everything through episodes, not dry philosophy. Immediately they replied, it will be highly interesting, So many thoughts, so many episodes in Papa, Gandhiji's life. He made us to think at that time, it is not only for our own spiritual progress, but also for sharing it when the demand comes. He will create the demand. And he has already given us this background. So just it is an example we are telling. So we should take it that whatever he does it with a purpose. All those things will be revealed when we develop this dialogue. The most essential thing is these questions have come from within. These answers have come from within. That was in the case of Papa. So we also need to develop this. Then only all these words will have needed impact. Otherwise, like any other question answer, we will also read it, we may memorize it, and we may reproduce it, but we are there where we are. So this is the preamble, and then going to the text. Seek and find him in ourselves. So the indwelling spirit is telling us, God has manifested himself as the universe. All these things we have heard. It is not that we have not heard. God has manifested himself as the universe, the one supreme Paramatman, who is by nature formless and without quality and ever existent, has assumed the variety of forms that we see in the world, universe. Let us see him in all things and beings as the one imperishable reality. It is not new to us, As students of Papa's philosophy, we have heard it through many of his writings. So why should I read this? The mind should not immediately say, I know all these things. Immediately stop. You don't know anything. You have only read. Go with it. The trick, immediately the mind will say, oh, we have read this. Self-surrender, oh, yes. Surrender is not a verbal assertion, not a mental acceptance, but it is a state of experience. But I don't surrender anything. But the moment you ask about surrender, I can immediately say all this. Now this particular one makes us to remember. Stop. Have you really understood the word surrender? If not, close the book and try to observe. How? Again, when the human will is given up for the divine will, all the responsibility of the instrument, the devotee, seeker, and the consciousness of the individual ego is merged in the divine one. The drop becomes one with the ocean. Again, it becomes academic, you know. So each answer, we have to go with it. Not for simply reading. Because of this session, we are reading, that's all. But the real purpose will be served only if we go, dive deep down. Because the passive voice, we said, the individual has to hand over the ownership. Now just think about it, the book At the Feet of God is before us. At the Feet of God was authored by Papa. Not in a favorable condition. In 1928, we don't know whether he was staying in one particular place or was moving about. And finally, he came to Kasaragod. And there was nothing there in the Kasaragod. The so-called infrastructure, we say, zero. So, with all the heavy odds, somehow he has authored this book. Somebody was kind enough to get it printed. And now so many editions have come. The paper has come out from so many sources. We were told it comes from the pulp also. And then the printing, actual printing. Then the stitching, binding. So many have facilitated us to read this book. Do we at least give 1% when we take up this book? Honestly? We just say, where is my book? That's all. So behind everything, the individual, he says, the devotee ceases and the consciousness of the individual ego is merged in the divine consciousness. How to make it practical? Going to the source of everything that we use. Then we find we have been given the wonderful opportunity to do this, that's all. Everything has been done now by factors other than me. And unknowingly I take credit for everything. Unknowingly. Because I am aware. So many things, so many people have contributed, so many of his creation have contributed to do every act of mine. Every act of mine. Even the word, the dictionary, the language, the grammar. When he says, the individual ego is merged in the divine consciousness, that one particular word can take us, when we do actual manana, we can link it with something of that experience. Otherwise, it becomes purely a reading session. Surface level is good. All words need not. One word can. So when we get more and more stabilized in this, that behind, suppose when we sit for meal, it may not be possible to remember, but whenever it is possible, because our mind is not habituated. What is today's dish? We will ask. We hardly remember the dish was conceived of by somebody. The raw materials came from so many. And so many people have contributed to make it prepare. And so many tools, so many gases, so many gadgets, vessels, so many things. I hardly remember any of these things. But the only thing I have cooked, how is it? So this is how I am deceiving myself. So Papa wants, when the human will is given up for the divine will, all the responsibility of the instrument, that means the individual, ceases. And the consciousness of the individual ego is merged in the divine consciousness. Then all his actions, thoughts and words emanate from the divine source. leaving him entirely free from all doubts, desires, and bonds. We are found in the interest of God. Every moment, when Sadhuram steps in, he takes the lead. How it has become total, When he gets down in a particular, for a time there is nobody else, then somebody comes in, then somebody takes. He said Ram. Sadhuram comes and takes over. So here he says, then all his actions, thoughts and words emanate from the divine source, leaving him entirely free from all doubts, desires and bonds. In fact, the devotee becomes filled with supreme bliss, on which alone his mind constantly dwells. The ego being absent, there is nothing on which his actions, words and thoughts can leave any impression. He is now free from all sin and sorrow. He is merely a witness, dispassionate, blissful, under the grand play of Leela. He is a dispassionate, he is a witness of the Leela. Can we see God? Yes, we can see him in his works, in his manifestation. He pervades all. There is no place where he is not. When we go to the last but one poem, not poem, you don't know how to name it, it's a poem, okay. He says, where is sweetness? It is in thee. Where is bitterness? It is in thee. That page, when you go through that, everything is covered. Where is happiness? Where is misery? Where is light? Where is darkness? So the revelations. Nothing but. So he is now free from all. He is merely a witness, dispassionate and blissful. Can we see God? Yes, we can see him in his work. In his manifestation, he pervades all. There is no place where he is not. Every object is none other than he. The bitterness in the bitter gourd, the sweetness in the sugar cane, the spiciness in the chilies, the sourness in the tomatoes. Just think. Where from it came? Where from it came? So these will definitely help us. Because we have localized, we have, in Papa's words, you have put Papa and Mataji in a frame of pictures. Like that we have put them in a frame of pictures or idols or roots. We have not seen the universality. We have not applied our mind on the universality. But when we start, that is why is that every object is none other than. Every object. Wow. So we are praying now. If I have to establish a dialogue with you, I should know all these things, So please train my mind, direct my mind to go to the root of everything that I handle. I have heard Mataji telling, this is also Papa, that is also Papa. We used to repeat it to somebody else. But we never bothered to know how she was able to bring it out. Every object is none other than he. So these words give us some idea. If God is one, why does he appear in different names and forms? The one has appeared as many for the working out of his Leela. Oh, already so. What underlies the essence? Then we will take it up tomorrow. Satyarajas and Tamas. It's a big subject. The root cause of all the diversity. Apparent diversity come because of this, the degree, the extent to which these three gunas play.
Whichever is predominant.
Which is predominant. Whether the sattva is predominant, rajas is predominant, then the whole quality, all our life, all individuals, we can definitely say that. Because of this ups and downs, these three. So when I open my eyes, when I see persons, when I am carried away by these three, I will not see the common denominator. But when I see the common denominator, I will not be carried away by the three. Though it exists, that is why in all our slokas, in Bhagavad Gita, everywhere it comes. Brahmanandam Paramasuvadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dandvadidam Gayanasavisham Tattvamustyadiraksham Ekam Nityam Vindanamadaram Sarvadi Sakshibhudam Bhavatitam Trigunaregitam. So the common denominator is free from these three, and these three are the basic, what you call, contributory factors for the diverse nature. Somebody is sober, somebody is highly hot-tempered, somebody is dull, somebody is overactive, somebody is submissive. If we start analyzing that, it's a big subject, very big subject. And then we watch and ourselves in which category we are, which is dominant in our. And then we have been told that from Rajas and Tamas we have to somehow free ourselves from it and closely associate with the Sattva, and then to go beyond that, even Sattva. So, tomorrow we will try about the gunas. Elaborately it has been mentioned, one particular chapter has been set apart for these gunas in Bhagavad Gita. Because elaborately of this class. So what is important is to go deep within and then take ourselves in the laboratory and then start applying to ensure that it doesn't become academic. This is the greatest hurdle we are all facing. Because the moment we slip into the academics, it will not enter into us. Because it is only a reproduction of whatever we have read, whatever we have heard, whatever we have memorized. So we will take it up tomorrow. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai